Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about how you can adhere to your diet whilst you're a busy person and or going through a really busy period in your life. So you may be getting quite good results already and you're going through a good weight loss training program, and then just everything just hits the fan and has just exploded everywhere, right? So this is not an uncommon problem. This is something that I see when people inquire about coaching, or if they're thinking about how busy is my life right now and can I commit to a weight loss program, a training program, and fit this all into my busy schedule. This is also something that I see with clients who are usually exceeding, I would say, probably the 12-week mark of a coaching program, and you start to get a little bit of that diet fatigue, you get a little bit of burnout, and sometimes just things happen in life. There's like an emergency, or if you go away on a holiday and you come back and work has just doubled down on you, the kids have got gastro, whatever's going on in life. It's just super busy. So what are the strategies that I recommend to my clients to get them back on track? How can we automate your diet to make it as easy as possible to ensure that you can still get results during the hardest times? Because if we stick to the nutrition and calories and training during the hardest times, when the going is easy, it's easy. So they're just free fat loss weeks. If there's nothing on, you're going about your normal daily life, you're sticking to your calories, etc., that's when you don't need the most help, right? That's when my job as a coach is the easiest, because I get to check in with my clients and I'm just like, high five, amazing, keep going as you are. It's from a coaching perspective, it's when life gets really hard is when a coach is really helpful. Now, I'm not here to push my coaching services at all. I'm here to give you some free help. So for whatever reason, you're just super busy, right? And you're having a hard time getting back on the wagon. You need to lose more weight. Number one, see if you can make it a priority. So if there's some things happening in your life, in your house, is it going to be a temporary phase? Is this something that's only going to be happening for the next 1 to 3 weeks-ish? You just got a few deadlines to tidy up. It could be school holidays, just is a short-term thing. If that's the case, it may just be worth having a short diet break, meaning you just get to keep your calories closer to maintenance. Maybe you're just in a bit of a less deficit, not as aggressive, and you just see out that busy phase before returning to your regular normal deficit, right? So your regular normal deficit could be, 13 or 1400 calories a day. Your maintenance might be 2200, and then during this busy time you might sit at 17 or 1800. So you won't be losing fat as fast as you can, but a deficit's still a deficit, right? Now, let's say you've been really good. Now you've been smashing your training weight loss program for a while, and work's just dumped a whole heap of stuff on you. You've got massive new projects, you've got a new promotion, life has been good, but you still need to lose another 5 to 10 kilos, but you're just slammed with work. Kids are at you, whatever's going on in life, right? This is where there are two methods I like to approach with clients and give them recommendations. So number one, if you want to make your own meal still, so you still want to do your own cooking, you're going to definitely have to pre-cook something. So you're going to have to start doing some meal prep. There'll be no more eating on the go. You will have to designate 1 to 2 days per week where you're going to do some bulk cooking, where you're actually going to sit down, work out the exact calories and macros per meal, pre-cook those, chuck them in the freezer, and then you'll have those ready for times where you're just really busy, okay? That's option number one. Option number two is you can follow my 2-3-5 method. So what you want to do is you want to create your own meal templates if you're eating three times a day. So let's say you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. Let's say you're on 1200 calories per day. So what you want to do is you want to make up 2 different meals you can have for breakfast that fit within 400 calories. You want to create 3 different meal templates that fit for lunch for 400 calories. And then you might have 5 different types of dinners that all fit within 500 calories, and obviously hitting your protein goals. So you're reducing decision fatigue. So when it comes to breakfast, you only have between options A or B. So option A is this, it's 400 calories. Option B is this, it's 400 calories. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly 400 calories. It can be, 200 for breakfast, 500 for lunch, 500 for dinner, right? So you can move the calories around. So just your personal preference. Do the same for lunch. 3 different lunches that all fit within the same calories. And then dinner is usually the most variable for most people, just because most people live with somebody else, their family, their partner, kids, etc. So other people have more of an input in terms of what they would like for dinner. So I like to call this essentially your non-negotiable meal of the day. So most people can eat their own breakfast by themselves, they can make their own lunches by themselves, but they usually have to partake in some social eating for dinner, partner, kids, etc. So I would always try and start from your non-negotiable meal first of the day. So if you know that dinner is going to be the hardest meal for you, plan that meal in first, okay? Then once that's sorted, then you know what you have left for your breakfast and your lunch. But it's still good to work off a basic template. So these are the 5 different dinners that we rotate throughout the week. If I'm on a fat loss phase for any reason, the conversation that I have with my wife every night is, what do you want for dinner tomorrow? Because we only rotate through maybe 6 or 7 different dinners throughout the week. As we get bored of those dinners, or if we need some more variety or the seasons are changing, we might swap out 1 or 2 of those dinners for something else that fits within the calorie budget. More so for me, because I'm the one that's always tracking food and training, not so much her. She's happy to go along with whatever I like. But if I'm like, I could eat chicken 5 nights a week, and she's like, I can't do chicken 5 nights, but I'll do 2. Then there's a bit of compromise. And then the last option would be getting onto a pre-done meal plan. So in Australia, we have things like Chef Good, Muscle Chef, Macro Meals, anything where it's a higher protein designated pre-done meal plan. So you can order these in bulk. You can go to your local supermarket and they sell them stocked in the shelves. Petrol stations sell them just in the front as you walk in, or at least some do anyway. And I would generally recommend replacing, depending on the meal of the day that's the most complicated, but most people would usually replace their lunch and their dinners with these meals. So don't think of this as, I have to do this forever. This is just currently a tool in the toolbox that's going to help you adhere to your diet for a short amount of time until you can get back to your normal routine and cooking. Sometimes you can use this as a diet reset. So if you look at every study that's been done in a metabolic ward where people are supplied with meals and they've all been weighed, tracked, and measured to be on a low-calorie diet, every single study has proven that every single person loses weight. And this is why the whole metabolic damage and slowing of your metabolism is mostly a myth. It does happen to some degree, but to the point where you're eating such low calories that you can't lose weight is essentially impossible. So think of it as you're paying a little bit more of a premium. So obviously it's a pre-done meal. You have to pay a little bit more per serving, somewhere between $8 to $15 per meal. But think of it as right now you have your own personal weight loss chef. Okay, they've prepared the meal for you. It's exactly the amount of calories that you're allowed to have for that sitting, and you just heat it up and carry on with your day. And it completely takes away decision fatigue, because as long as you stick to these meals, it's basically impossible to not get results, especially with the meals that they make these days. They're actually quite tasty. And these can also be used as a really good backup emergency meal, which is something I recommend to my clients a lot as well. So if you are at the end of the week and it's Friday and everyone else wants takeaway food, and you have a plan and a goal and calorie limit that you're allowed to have, and you took out your chicken and then the chicken was off and there was no other food in the house, what are you going to do? You're just going to give in and just have 1,000 calories of takeaway? No. You have an emergency meal ready to go. It's in the fridge or freezer, and you just heat it up. And then just like magic, you've stuck to your calories. Therefore, you got results that week. Now, if you compound that every single day, so let's say you just stuck to those meals 100% every single day, you will lose weight. This is a guaranteed way to lose weight. It's probably not a permanent way to be able to sustain your weight loss. And don't get me wrong, sustaining your weight loss is completely different to trying to lose weight. But it is going to just streamline the process for you, especially during the times where you're the most busy. So to wrap it up for you, if you can, make your meals. It is good to learn. This is a lifelong skill. You want to learn how to make your meals, eat healthy, track your food, learn how to weigh, track, measure your food, fit it into your calories. If you've just been slammed and you just don't have time, or at least it's just fallen down on the priority list, what you now want to do is automate your diet. Just spend the little bit of extra money, go out and just cover your lunch and your dinner. Make your breakfast at home. If you eat breakfast, I personally don't. I prefer just to have a coffee in the morning. But if you're a breakfast person, just make it yourself. Potentially, you can even make your lunch yourself, and then just swap out your dinner, which is the hardest one, all right? And then your job is just to not eat outside of those meals, okay? Very simple, easy, not necessarily, but very, very simple, okay? Anytime I've had this with a client, so if someone hasn't been getting results, for whatever reason, if they tell me that they're sticking to their calories and they just aren't getting the expected results that we should be based on their maintenance calories and their deficit, and they've given it a good try. So let's say it's been a good 4 weeks and just nothing is moving. I'm going to suggest pre-done meal plan for 1 week. Just do it for 1 week. All right. What have you got to lose? You might spend an extra $50 compared to your normal shop. 99.999% of the time, every single person loses weight that week. Every single time. There's always that one person who may not. And in my experience, more often than not, it's because they're eating outside of those meals. So they'll have their pre-meals done, but they're also eating some fruit or some extra calories here, or they had an extra serving of whatever with their dinner, right? You do have to follow it meticulously. And that is all. So if you have any questions on that, please message me, drop any comments below. I'll see if I can start doing some more of these videos. So questions and things that I talk about with my clients, people who message me where they're having issues with things. And instead of trying to fit this into a 1-minute video on social media like TikTok, Instagram, etc., I can give you a bit more of a nuanced approach and just go into these in a bit more detail. So if you found this helpful, and if you're new here, subscribe. These will be pretty raw. I'm basically just doing this in my car before I head in for my clients. And we'll see if we can do at least a couple of these per week. So if you have any questions, pop them in. May give me some ideas for some of these videos. I might answer one of your questions personally. And if you need help and you need the one-to-one guidance, there's always in the bottom in the description, there's always going to be a link. You can reach out. You can apply for one-to-one coaching. My spaces are almost booked out. I think I've got about 10 spaces left at the moment at the time of recording this. And we just have a chat on the phone, get to speak to me in person, and we'll just see if you're a good fit for the program or not. Cool. All right, guys, talk to you soon.